Hey guys, so how you doing? Happy Cancer season to you. Hopefully if you're checking into this part 2 video, you've kind of reviewed. I would encourage you to go and watch the messages about the Lilith energy in the collective. Lilith energy, but the Leo energy. You know, we were talking about Black Moon Lilith and Leo from January until October, who has kind of led the charge. We also talked about Mars in Leo as well as Venus in Leo. So I'd encourage you to check that out. I really kind of broke it into 2 parts, or else, to be honest with you, the video would have been like hella long. So I really wanted to take a separate video to talk about Cancer season. I had the full moon chart pulled up and then I closed it. Sorry, I was looking at some other things. Anyway, I usually just kind of wing it and channel these collective readings with you guys. So I don't always pull up a lot of the charts. And anyway, we'll probably chat more about the full moon, which I think is going to be in Capricorn this weekend, which I think is good. We kind of need that energy. I really do think. But Cancer season right now, I think we're going to be feeling it. What are we? We're about 6-7 days in, about 7 days into Cancer season. And, you know, a reminder that it really depends on these are collective for whoever needs it readings. I'm always happy to work deeper with you one-on-one to you can go as deep and as detailed and specific in your own chart as you'd like. So take what resonates and always, leave the rest. We're all going to find ourselves at different parts of this walk and this path and this journey of the unfoldment of yourself, your healing, your knowing yourself, your self-awareness, which leads to your own personal alchemy and your own personal evolution and evolving, right? Becoming more, Spirit is saying, more highly calibrated to your organic kind of blueprint of who you were intended to be. Or as some would say, the highest evolution right now. That you can embody from where you're at, right? We're all in different places on that journey. So, I really feel that coming into Cancer season, we can find ourselves in a lot of different places. We took on huge energetic shifts. I mean, we've still been taking, it'd be a whole separate thing to discuss all the solar flares, Schumann resonance, the big powerful energy of the rare hybrid eclipse around the equinox and, our eclipse window. Well, a little after the equinox, but the first eclipse window, right? A lot of Aries energy, a lot of fire. We had the full moon in Sagittarius. We've had all of these. I explained it in one collective video. It's almost like raining activations. Maybe you would see them as stars, maybe dragon's breath raining down on you, maybe like liquid waterfalls of prismatic light, however you visualize or envision that in your mind's eye. We've had these activations coming down, and so we then go into Gemini season. The mental work, the spiritual message work, the crown chakra, all these things continue. And I was saying in the other video, sometimes Gemini season can feel like it kind of moves fast because it's very mercurial and mental. You can perceive and feel and experience the time differently, which reminds you of what a powerful, energetic being you really are, by the way, Spirit is saying. Just a side note for you. Look at how closely you can walk in your own perception. I have 2 cards that came out. Wow. Temperance and the Lovers, making balanced choices for yourself, protecting where your energy flows, working on the alchemy of balancing your divine masculine and feminine, and at the end of the day is making choices. You know, the Lovers card is about choices. But, you know, so we could ultimately, what we want to do is work on integrating all these uploads, all these activations, all of these new energetic frequencies, all of these things we've been in reception mode of, you know. Now, I think Cancer season really gives us a good opportunity to integrate these things into the heart space. It's definitely not missed at all to note once again that this is the year of 7. That is the Chariot card in the tarot. It's a wonderful one to dig into and really study and apply it to yourself and in your own way in this year. And there is a lot of Cancerian energy there as well to explore. But what we do as we integrate a lot of this and let it move on down and flow, you know, into our emotional bodies. We are 50 to 70% water. We're like these little electric vessels walking around, you know, and all this electromagnetic activation on this grid of Gaia, essentially. So now we are working in the heart space. We are also, Cancer season is very ancestral. It's very what have we inherited through the ancestral lines as we were, you know, children, babies with our mothers, in our mother's womb. Of course, you know, the whole thing with, you know, the eggs in the womb, it goes back multiple generations. You are in your mother's womb as she's in her mother's womb. And this whole thing, this is the Luna, the Cancerian energy. We work on healing, letting go, practicing self-awareness, doing shadow and root work around ancestral, especially maternal trauma and issues like that, and releasing, Spirit is saying karmic corded, you know, agreements to certain things that don't apply to us anymore in our bloodlines and in our inheritance, our ancestry, if you will, right? So Cancerian season and time is very, you know, family wounds, you know, maternal wounds, and all of these things kind of, you know, floating around for us to come to terms with, to work on letting go, alchemizing. And we're all in different places. Once again, you know, you may be in a place personally where you're just now becoming aware of some things, or maybe these are things that you are working on. You have modalities, healing, therapy, all these different, you know, maybe spiritual things, energetic practices, what have you. You're like, I'm already working on this stuff. I'm fully aware of it. You know, and some of us may be at a place where we feel like we've alchemized a lot of that. And, oh, sorry, guys. And we are ready to let go. And, you know, we have reached a point in our own self-awareness and, what am I saying? Evolution, you know, in our own journey where we are ready to, in a healthy way, Spirit is saying, mother ourselves. Cancer is a very much a nurturing, mother yourself, looking after yourself, excuse me, type of energy, right? But what this will do is it will prepare us to, you know, Cancer, Luna, Moon, this whole vibration of the divine feminine is very womb-like. It's very much like you have been given so much and you are getting ready to birth. And then in Leo season, which is the energy of the heart, we're getting ready to, it's kind of like rebirth a new template for your heart space. Because in the other video, we talked a lot about how that is a gateway. And we can get into a lot more of that in one-on-one work, you know, but it is a divine gateway. And we can choose to birth this new heart, so to speak, that will be ready to come forth in Leo season, that's associated with your pure, childlike inner spirit, your heart, and have so much more clarity, be able to embody so much more light, and then in turn send out. It's like Spirit is showing me as if you had a prismatic magical mirror that had been very foggy or cloudy for a long time, or maybe you have a glass of water and it needed to be purified, and maybe that required burning down or boiling off steam. Maybe that required elements to purify so that the light can shine through the prismatic space or through the glass of water, the vessel. Spirit is saying the vessel of water to maybe see all new colors on spectrums you never knew you could reflect. Maybe maybe waves of frequencies that you didn't know you had access to, but because the water or because the glass or because the vessel needed purification, it needed cleaning. Right? And so in Leo season, then we can reclaim, reclamation, remembrance, right? We can remember our true organic template for our heart space. So that is what a lot of this Cancer season work is dealing with. Of course, Saturn in Pisces. We've kind of chatted about that in other collective videos. Saturn and Pisces energy is definitely like, so let's use the vessel of water as a reference point. Spirit is saying as if you are suspended in a vessel of water that allows you to sort of shuffle the different densities to see different timelines. And you're almost saying maybe, let's say, dream work, spirit walking work, meditation, what have you. So Spirit is saying, what would you like to anchor in now? And so you're deciding, but also you're working with your guides, your ancestors, your team, your higher self, and your choices. And the Saturn energy, the maturity, the responsibility, the sustainability, the gatekeeper, right? Saturn, being that big daddy gatekeeper energy, is going to say, let's sit down and talk about this. Okay, I absolutely see where I think I could best place you with this timeline. Are you responsible? Can you sustain it? And so we're kind of in this like suspension evaluation. It's like you meet them with the lawyers, you have the inheritance, you're making the best plan. Your advisors, Daddy Saturn advisors, higher team, galactic ancestors, all these different things are saying, let's see, can you sustain? We know what we would love for you. We understand what you would love for yourself because we are you, right? Your team is you at all times with you. What can you be emotionally mature enough, responsible enough? What do your actions speak to what it is that you're trying to call in, right? So the Saturn in Pisces, we're going to be dealing with that for a while. And that Piscean energy, is it's almost like a mermaid, iridescent fairy, and she kind of flitters or swims. Maybe you think of a dolphin. She's moving through different timelines and saying, what is my soul song calling to me? What is, if I were in the most playful, joy-filled heart nature, choosing a timeline, where would I go? What does the song call me to, And then we go there. And then Saturn meets us there and says, are you ready to sustain this? So, and it's so well reflected in these two cards as well with the Temperance card. It is about the alchemy, the process of inner alchemy, the balancing of the divine masculine, divine feminine. Both of these cards are really. Where's your energy flowing? What type of choices are you making? How is your emotional maturity evolving? But also, what kind of choices are you making? I would encourage you really, if you feel called to these cards, to study them both in depth. Two very important and powerful major arcana cards. Okay. We have Sagittarius energy. We have Gemini energy. But two wonderful and very appropriate cards here about choices, about balance, about, again, sitting with Saturn at the table, and Saturn is saying, look, I really hear your soul song. I totally get it, right? Absolutely, yes. Yep, yes, you extended from this Palladian family. Yeah, okay, we've reviewed your genealogy. We looked at your ancestry, your inheritance, right? It's like sitting at a table with the lawyers, with the dad, with the advisors. And he's saying, okay, but you know what? Here's what we're also looking at your choices. Okay, we're looking at what you practice every single day. Let's talk about where this pocket. So imagine your energy is a bank account, and your willpower, your energy, your focus, all these different things, your self-discipline, and Saturn is reviewing these things with you and saying, so we're going to need to tweak some things. Okay, we would love to put you into this new timeline position because yes, you are divinely appointed there, as you well know. Let's talk about how we're going to sustain this, right? Though, okay. And then also, as we prepare to get ready to, it's almost like a visual image of this new light body just falling down into your actual body. And this organic template being like, click, click, it's locked into place in your heart space, which is that gateway, right? You have the keys, the gateway is installed. That's great. Let's talk to Daddy Saturn about what we're going to execute going forward. So we can bring these codes on down into this. You would say maybe your avatar is getting an upgrade, but you need to be able to know how to drive it, Spirit is saying. So who would you, my dad, he's trying to teach me how to drive a stick shift. And he's like, golly, if you would listen, you're going to grind the gears out. It's like this whole vibe, right? You're in the avatar and you're like, ooh, this heart feels good. Ooh, look how my new energetic template is clicking into this new earth grid. Okay, like I'm feeling it. You're checking out all the dings and the bells and the whistles. And Daddy Saturn over here like, hey, listen, there's some things we need to talk about. Make sure we balance. There's some things that you need to understand. There's some choices we need to discuss, a little bit of things we need to bring in harmony. You know what it makes me think of now? I'm off in a tangent in my brain about learning how to drive, and it's like how you have to finesse the clutch, just right while you shift the gears. And just like you're learning how to drive something new, and you got to finesse it, your choices, these new abilities, this new level of intuition, this new level of willpower, this new ability of sight, all of these things coming online, right, is giving me this type of image in my mind. And then also we've got Pluto in Aquarius since March. Mind you, he spent like a decade. Okay, so let me tell you before I dive into Pluto and Neptune, because it's important to understand Saturn. Let's say you were out in Egypt or Scotland or Glastonbury, right? Wherever you were, Native American on a blind. I'm just saying, back in the day when you didn't have all this ambient light and all these different things, and you were just looking with your naked eye and all these archetypes of stories that come from the sky. You would look out with your naked eye with no technology or mechanical assistance. Saturn was probably the planet you could see. So he is the gatekeeper before you go out into kind of the abyss. You go beyond the veil, and then you find, Uranus, you find Neptune, you find Pluto, and this is the subconscious. This is between the veil. This is the occulted knowledge. This is disillusionment. This is taking scales off the eyes. This is subconscious. Death, the Lord of the underworld. This is Hades. This is Persephone goes down and she comes back up, right? This is that energy. So now we set with Daddy Saturn, and he says, all right, it closes your folder. Okay, I think now what we're going to do for a while is we're going to go out beyond the gate, because there are some things we need to reinforce in certain areas beyond the veil, beyond the gate. And so then we look at these other, as we would call them, outer planets, right? Pluto, being in retrograde, now Pluto retrograding in Aquarius, it's a very much a time where you will say, how have certain death cycles that I've went through transformed me? I need to make sure that I am aware. I need to make sure that I'm embracing a certain level of healing, because now that I am given, Spirit is saying, like a new relationship to my inherited power, you know what I mean? I need to make sure that I claim it. I need to make sure that I don't give it away. And, Pluto in Aquarius is a very big energy of it's important that you understand how important you are in the ripple effect of the entire collective of energy. Well, how am I going to contribute going forward? Am I going to be of service? Am I going to act out of the ultimate motivation in my heart? If you put my heart up there with Ma'at, would it weigh out? I ain't saying we don't make mistakes. I'm not saying we don't know. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how does your heart weigh out, right? So Pluto in Aquarius is saying, hey, how has your karma kind of weighed out? How have you balanced some of the past cycles that you were connected to? How are you working with moving this energy out so that we can rebirth bigger things, right? Aquarius is a powerful collective energy, right? Okay, and Pluto is definitely, he is the lord of karma, and there's these undertones of death and all of this, right? But he teaches us, because ultimately the death means that something else will rise. So that Pluto in Aquarius is saying, okay, we've worked through a lot of the death, but now you're going to rebirth a lot of new paradigms in your own mind. So you need to be able to, as you kind of rise back up, you need to make sure that you are standing on like a solid foundation, because Pluto can kind of have like a chaotic energy, but the goal in the end is to kind of build something better, right? And then we also have Neptune retrograding. A Neptune retrograde, is going to really help you. I mean, Neptune is all about spirituality. Again, it's very much the occulted knowledge. Is going beyond the veil. It is your third eye. It is the high priestess. It is, the high priestess who sits between the two pillars, and she holds a book. She holds a scroll. She has the Luna energy, and she says, come with me beyond the veil, right? And so in this time of Neptune being in retrograde, and Neptune is in retrograde in Pisces, right? And Saturn is also in Pisces as well. I'm sorry, what's today? Today's like the 28th. On the 30th, Neptune will actually be in retrograde until December. So I need you to drop some scales off your eyes and hold on, because it's time to go beyond the veil. And again, it's the same imagery that contributes to wiping the lens clean. The paradigm, the perspective, the lens you see this world through, which the scales are falling down, we're wiping it clean. And the only way that we can start that process is to be fine-tuning ourselves on how we look within. Okay, Neptune retrograde, in Pisces especially, is going to say, are you spiritually bypassing? Are you putting on blind lenses and purposefully not looking at some truths? I think it's really time that you let them sink into your reality. And Neptune will take you there. It's a depth of going within yourself, but the rewards that you earn from that are powerfully creative, powerful amplification of. Spirit is saying that you're understanding the power behind your imagination, and you can only really learn to sit down into that if you make time to go beyond the veil. And man, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Okay, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. That's like, hey, listen, before you sit down and drive these new upgrades to your avatar's software, we've really fixed a lot of the bugs and taken out a bunch of those stupid little loops that you thought you had to be stuck in that were lies to you. We've done a lot of upgrades. You're about to receive this new organic heart code template, right? And we really amped it up at the summer solstice for you, so it's ready to go. But what you're going to do first is get in this spaceship. We're going to send you out beyond the veil. We're going to do a little bit of work so that you can remember some things from your soul family, from your, it's like hold on with me. It's like Spirit saying, it's like you're going in a spaceship out beyond the veil to learn some classes that they don't teach in history anymore. This is what Spirit is saying to me. You need to go do some history classes with some different types of teachers so that you can come back and really be prepared to drive all of these upgrades in your avatar. And you are divinely equipped to do so. There's just some things you need to remember, some downloads you need to receive, if you will. And also sometimes, you know what, when we go out beyond that veil, we meet our divine feminine, because we are talking about balance, right? And we do have the Lovers and the Temperance card. We go out and meet our maternal ancestors, our Lemurian mothers, our Hathor mothers, we could make a whole list, right? Our Magdalene mothers, we go out beyond the veil and we sit with our mothers in these spirit journeys, in these meditation journeys. And when we go out, sometimes Spirit is saying there is integration work, there is alchemy work that can only be done there if we go out there. It's like, all right, you want to get in here and drive this new upgrade you got? You got to sign up to go out in the spaceship beyond the veil first. Yeah, but I mean, like, I've done a lot of shadow work. Do you know what I mean? And I know that this is my inheritance. And I've been feeling all these crazy activations. Yep, we know you have, sweetie. But what you need to do is make some time to go out here beyond the veil, because there are some maternal energies that want to meet with you. And I'm talking about male and female alike. I'm not talking about this is only for women. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about energetic signatures. God, get out there and go on beyond the veil. Okay, there are creative blocks that need to move. We need to reintegrate different. Sorry, what is Spirit saying? Spirit is saying, like, we need to go out so that we can be equipped to understand, to feel, to vibrate in harmony with a level of divine love that we've not been able to experience before because we didn't have access to it, but now we do. Neptune retrograde will give us a different level of access to this divine love, and then how we experience that within ourselves will really empower us about how we are able to then mirror, reflect it back out in the collective, spiritually, emotionally, and, physically in the work that we do. Now, okay, let's go on ahead and talk about real quick, though, because when Neptune goes in retrograde, you kind of, if there are some fantasy lands you've been living in, if there are some truths you refuse to see, or I'm looking at the mirror at myself every day and I know damn well this is a problem, but I'm checking out. It's big reality check energy. Right? So, Neptune rules on the shadow side of like drinking, of addictions, of the ways we try to check out of reality. That's food. That's what you watch. That is what do you actually read. That's what are you eating? Are you drinking too much? Hey, we can't escape. How you going to drive a new avatar, right? If you escape. I don't even know why now I'm looking at her holding this cup. So I don't know if it's a message for someone about addictions, but that will come to the fore during a Neptune retrograde. And sometimes, and it's not that we ask for it, but when Neptune goes retrograde, sometimes when we ride out beyond the veil, our spirit guides, our ancestor team, our higher body of selves will say, I think they're ready to understand some things, some secrets. I think it's time to, some deceitful things need to be revealed to them. I think sometimes that they keep looking at this person through a certain perspective, and we need to snatch them glasses off the face. It's time, because this stuff is hindering them for too long. And your team, your higher self, your spirit guides, your activation codes will be put into play. And sometimes what that will also feel like is, wow, you guys threw me in this spaceship. It's Cancer season. I'm in my feelings. Yes, I know I'm trying to rebirth a new divine heart template. I get it. But y'all going to have me in the spaceship out here beyond the veil? You're going to snatch all these glasses off of me, off my face? I have to see all of this? And you do, and you do. You do. It's okay. It's okay. You know, this card, now that I'm looking at it, it reminds me of that image where Lilith is kind of romanced by the snake. You know the image I'm talking about? You can see the likeness of it here very closely. It's like Lilith, get with me here beyond genders, right? We're talking about divine masculine, divine feminine, but it's like the dark divine feminine goddess. This is Lilith, right? Gemini energy is the twins. It's duality. But the thought that I had was it's like you with yourself. Grabbing a hold of yourself so that you can't run from certain things you need to see anymore, so that you can make better, more evolved choices. But the whole time, look, the whole time, do you see your spirit family is back there? It's never that you got so far away from your soul, S-O-L or S-O-U-L, but you still got to come up out the cave. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of a throwback as a reference to the other video that I did. And it just made me think of Lilith. It was almost like he's trying, oh, sorry, he, she, they, them. They are trying to run away. And it's like this energy of Lilith with her snake is running back and grabbing them. But it's almost like in a caress kind of way, like, listen, I need you to go with me out here. Or in here, either in the cave or out in the spaceship. Go with me beyond the veil. And I promise it's going to be all right. We're going to come back. Look. We're never going to get so far from who we are that we won't come back. You know, this is a whole imagery that I had going on in my head while I was looking at that. But yeah, it's so when you kind of watch the part 1 and then you come here to the part 2, it's definitely this energy of kind of being activated up, lit up, you know, fire rained on, light. Okay, I'm getting all this in my body and in my mind, and the spiritual messages. You're probably having a lot of these experiences. I mean, if you're here watching this, and then it's like you're doused, you know, back into the water. You still got a smoldering flame. I was telling someone the other day, it's like when you are forging a weapon, man, it is such a process. You know, I had a good friend and he handcrafted knives and different things of steel or whatever, and I can't remember all the technicalities of the process and the words, but he made an athame for me custom, and I was really privileged to get to kind of see that process. It was so cool. But I was like, whoa, dude, how many times did it have to go back into the fire? How many times did it have to be hammered and then laid over and then folded over and then folded over and then burned again and then doused again? And then this whole cyclical process was just baffling. But you know what comes out in the end is a blade that cannot be matched. You know, I'm telling you. You're being forged, you know, and doused. And then forged some more, and then folded over, and then hammered. Great. Hammer again? All right, cool. And then doused, you know. So right now it feels like a dousing, and we're kind of smoldering in the fire. But we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay out here. That is the process. You know, and look, it's love and light. It's so much unconditional love, and it's all rooted from a grounded and hope and heart space over here. But I'm going to tell you that it's just the process. It's not for the weak, but you were not made from the weak. You know, you weren't. So, you know, the Lover's card just keeps jumping out at me so much. They're both, please, you know, again, if it resonates with you. But the Lover's card is so powerful. You know, in other decks, they have Hebrew letters. It's so funny to think about that because we were talking about forging a weapon. Because listen, in other more occulted, esoteric, deeper studied type tarot decks, on the Lover's card, there is a Hebrew letter called Zayin, which means sword. Gemini, double duality energy, right? We have to have a sword that separates, because you separate to refine, you purify before you bring back together. So the Lover's card, you know, it's too funny. I wasn't even thinking about that. It's you are being brought back to inner marriage between your divine masculine and feminine. It's reconnecting yourself with the God source, and there's separation processes, and then there's coming back together processes. We will also find that spiritual communities, 5D level, you know, soul web, soul families are going to be coming back together now to support each other, to lift each other up, to kind of nurture these new soul connections. It is not just about being romantic either, you know, and it could very well be in your life if that applies, but it is about soul connections. And it's also about us returning to union with God's source, one source, your higher monadic team of selves. There's a union with your spirit source, right? But in order to get to those times, and we have cycles. In order to get to those times, we have to spend time alone. We have to do work on ourselves. We have to reflect to make sure that we are calling in and attracting what is of our highest and best good. So you may find yourself right now, and it is emotional, it is Cancer season, and it's important that we give those emotions healthy outlets so they don't stay in there clouding up our water, right? You may find yourself making decisions, you know, about directions forward, about relationships in your life that are is like a hindrance. It's just ultimately you are making choices now with a different level of clarity. You are attracting higher levels of love because you are working on loving yourself from the inside out that way. So naturally, that's going to be the byproduct of it, right? And also, it's not only about, please, listen. I love to do this to get your attention. Listen. Okay, I love you. It's not just about attracting someone to love. You attract the love between you and original source, and understanding that there's no separation from that. And it's beautiful love. You know, I love to work with flowers. The blossoming of that flower at the top of your crown is you realizing it's me with me. It's me with me. I just got to do this dance of me with me every single day to the best of my ability. And as spirit and my ancestral team and my higher self are calling me to do so. As long as I do that work, me with me with my energy, me to me on my choices, me, my ancestors, my team, my higher self on my accountability, guess what? You're going to create a vibrational point where things will then come in and be attracted to you that are aligned with your self-worth, that are aligned with your self-love, that are aligned with your soul family, with your tribe. Okay? But I'm just going to come back around and remind you that we are going to be doing, what was I calling it? Some spaceship driving. We're going to be going out beyond the veil. Pluto is going to be what? Retrograde until October 10th. Black Moon Lilith is going to be in Leo until October. Let's look at, what is Neptune? Sorry. Let me look at this chart. Oh, where did it go? I know Neptune is going to be in retrograde until, is it sometime in December? Anyway, but I'm saying for months, we're going to be working on it. And even so, again, drawing it back to Cancer season, we're going to work through Cancer season. We absolutely are, because we have set that divine intention to do so, because we are on this trajectory. You will inherit that heart space template. Makes me think of the crop circle near Stonehenge around the summer solstice. It's like spirit going whoop on your heart, and you're like, whoa. Imagine spirit is showing me, it's like if you look down and no one else could see it, but you see it, and you have like this crazy new tattoo on your heart chakra. keys, codes, right? Activations. So it's not a, well, what if I don't, da, 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 and I don't inherit it? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. But that doesn't mean that that will be the end of the work. Going back to the driving reference, hell, did you learn how to drive in a couple of days? No, you did it. I mean, some people thought they did. It took you years to perfect the muscle memory, the intuitive response, the wisdom, and the teachings to be able to properly steer that vehicle. And you're going to do that. It's going to be okay. Okay? Love you guys. Damn, I appreciate you so much if you sat with me through all these 2 videos. It's just out here for whoever needs it. You know, please reach out to me if you want to do one-on-one work and you want to understand better your own energetic signature, your natal chart, and dig deeper, you know, reach out, absolutely. But take good care of yourselves out here in Cancer season. I'm always jokingly, I'm calling it, who was it I heard say it originally? Molly McCord, I think, was saying something about it's weighted blanket season. Take good care of yourself and have good balance. Love yourself, choose yourself, mother yourself. You can choose to do that. That's not gender either. That's not man nor woman. That's anyone. You can choose to do that. So take good care. Love and appreciate you guys so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Look forward to touching base with you guys about the coming full moon. And yeah, have a wonderful Wednesday, you guys.